Final exams can be a very stressful time for both students and their parents. Students are well aware that finals can determine their final grade and impact their GPA. And knowing how to prepare and study can make the difference in that final grade. And joining us today, Michelle Sagalyn, CEO and founder of Successful Study Skills for Students. Good morning. All right. So, a lot of students out there are getting ready to take those final exams in the coming days and weeks. When it comes to the test, what are some 4 bullet points that they should keep in mind that will kind of help prepare them a little bit?
Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me. There are 4 bullet points that we think that are important for students to know and follow when preparing for finals. The first one seems obvious. Find out when are the tests.
Exactly. That's important.
It's important to know to show up, right? That's
right,
rule
exactly.
number 1. So ask your teachers, and if your teacher hasn't made an announcement yet of when the test is, well, then ask your guidance counselor or advisor or check the school website.
And then the other one was what will be on it. That's big too, because you know in the course of a year students learn so much, and sometimes the teachers don't focus on everything, they'll only focus on a certain area.
That is so true. So finals can be, or final exams might cover everything that the student might have been taught from the beginning of the year, from September, or might only cover all the material learned since January. So it's important to know what you're going to study. So find out from the teacher what material will be on it. The other part of knowing what will be on it is what kind of a test will it be? Will it be multiple choice? Will it be essay? Will a calculator be able to be used? If so, make sure it's fully charged. So find out what will be on it. Ask the teacher for a study guide.
And we have also on there, make a plan and, of course, study it.
And, of course, study it. Exactly.
All right. Very good. So a lot of stuff to keep in mind. First and foremost, know when the test is, as we mentioned. Now, how can students be better prepared when it comes to taking these final exams? Because, you know, there's a lot of students out there, they know their stuff, but they're not good test takers.
That is so true. Test anxiety is very common, where even with my own kids, before they took a test, they would have like a whiteout in their mind. So the next bullet point that's very important to think about is to make a plan. A plan is using a calendar, which can be either electronic or it could be paper. And the important thing to know is cramming is the worst way to study. So you never want to study the night before or 2 nights.
And that's what a lot of kids do.
That is so true. They think that it will be fresher in their mind. But evidence has shown, absolutely true, that if you study the night before, you won't do as well. The best way to study is to study over time, a week, 2 weeks, the longer the better, and in smaller chunks. So that's where the planner comes in, to actually schedule yourself. You're going to study English and math on Monday. You might review it on Tuesday, but now you'll pick up history and science, and maybe Wednesday you'll do your foreign language. And every day you should be reviewing everything, but you should maybe highlight 1 or 2 of your main topics, main subjects, and study it intensely on a given night.
Well, good advice, because a lot of kids, and I'm guilty of doing this when I was in school, they cram. They go right up until the last second. And I was always told, if you're studying right up before they hand you that test and you don't know it, you're not going to know it.
You'll actually freeze. You'll actually freeze because the information won't come out. It hasn't been processed. It hasn't set in your mind. So the best way to study is over time, a little bit at a time.
And we should mention parents also should be conscious of the fact that their children should be studying beforehand. The parents sometimes obviously need to make sure that they're doing so because the kids may not do it on their own.
That is so true. Parents can really be great advocates for their student by making sure the house is quiet and calm, that the student is eating healthily, going to sleep at a reasonable time, and really focused on these last few weeks, which are so important, and as you so correctly said, can determine the student's GPA.
Exactly, and what's on your transcript and getting into schools. I mean, it's so important. And what can students really expect after they sort of employ all of these tips? Well, I mean, what kind of results will they see?
Well, if they find out what's going to be on the test, if they are thoroughly prepared, they will absolutely see a better result, a better grade. The step number 4 that we recommend is now that you know what's on it, when it is, and how and when you're going to study for it. Now is actual studying. So using the study guide, rewrite notes, look at past quizzes and tests. Chances are questions that you got wrong on past quizzes and tests will be on the exam.
Good advice, yes.
So it's those are great diagnostic tools. Ask your teacher for help if you need it. Study with friends, make flashcards. all things that you students need to do to get a good and even better grade.
All of it very helpful. A few seconds left. You have the study guide here. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we have this free ebook, Study Tips and Tricks for Exams, and it helps students. It's free, no obligation at all. Go to our website, s4studyskills.com. It's right there. And basically, it discusses everything that's what we talked about now, and also different vocabulary that you might need to know when you're taking a test. What's the difference between explain or compare, for example, in a test essay?
So certain things to pay attention to. In case in point, we are heading into that time now where the final exams are going to be taking place. As we mentioned, do not wait until the last moment or the day before. Start planning now so that you can obviously get that good grade. I mean, these students work very hard throughout the year. They should get that good grade when all is said and done.
Absolutely. It's the final stretch, and it's like the Olympics. You have to push for the gold at the very end.
All right, very good. Michelle, great information. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it. And of course, for more information on anything Michelle and I just discussed, all you have to do is go to our website, WTNH.com, click the On Air tab, and pull down to the Good Morning Connecticut weekend section.